Andy, his wife and daughter, who were living in the boathouse safely after the attacks of the zombies. One day, Andy is sailing houseboat. He notices two playing children at the bank of a stream. Andy waves his hand seeing them and is also pleased. But those kids' father dislikes it, and he shows his gun to Andy, taking it out. Observing it, Andy goes inside. Andy and his wife are talking with each other at night. Now 3 times food was left in the boat for them. As a result, his wife suggests to move into a town, leaving this boat, so they may arrange the meal. That town was 30 to 40 kilometers far from there. But Andy forbids his wife because he did not want to face any danger. Obviously, it was risky to step on the land, so he wanted to stay in his boat. Waking up on the next day, Andy notices a broken sailboat. He moves there in search of meal and the essential commodities. He hears some sounds from the boat when he is searching for meal. Taking a few things, Andy comes back to his boat. Fortunately, Andy had searched the meal for 3 months. They both were excited on it. His wife says to him, "Have some rest," and she leaves to take more things from that sailboat. A zombie attacks her, unfortunately. Andy is showing his affections towards his little daughter after awakening. He discovers the bloodstains on the boat deck. The fact that his wife had been attacked by the zombie was evident from it. It implies that after 48 hours, his wife will turn into a zombie. But it was hard to believe for Andy, so he is disturbed. He was still thinking it, that his wife may be recovered. So he comes on the land with his wife and daughter, leaving the boat. So he may take his wife into the hospital. Walking at a distance, Andy observes a car. A zombie arrives there when Andy is putting fuel in the car. Catching its sight quickly, Andy drives off the car. After a time, his wife gets off the car as the car stops. So she may change the nappy of her little daughter. But she falls on the floor, facing the worst condition of her. Coming into senses, she says to Andy he should go, leaving her here. She begins shouting. Because she had a fear of her transformation into a zombie, she will infect Andy and her baby girl. Being compassionate, Andy makes his wife seated in the car and also breaks the car door handle so she may avoid to go outside. Passing a distance, a zombie comes in front of their car. Andy is frightened and crashes his car with a tree in confusion. Andy finds that his wife has already transformed into a zombie when he restores his consciousness. Andy enters that town school and meets a good-natured teacher there, and she bandages Andy's wound. She allows him to stay here at nighttime. Andy thinks to give the charge of his little daughter to her for safety. But that teacher had a disease of cancer and has no more time to survive. Knowing it, he changes his thoughts. On the other side, Thumi's mother is shown, who is attacking the zombie, accompanying indigenous Australians. So the town may be secured, killing the zombies. She is also searching for her daughter Thumi. Thumi loved her dad a lot and didn't want to stay away from him even after he turned into a zombie. So he had put his father safe while digging a pit into the ground. She used to take care of her father, so he may not be harmed by her mother or indigenous Australians. So this was the cause. She was living alone, hiding herself from her mother. Contrarily, Andy is shown, whose condition was worsening at night.
He was blood vomiting and losing his senses. When he wakes up in the morning, he checks that he has left only 32 hours. Taking her daughter, Andy leaves. Walking at a distance, he observes a car there. A man makes him target shooting his gun as he goes to that car. But that gunshot is actually for a zombie who was coming at the backside of Andy. That man says, "Help me," because that man's foot was pressed under a tank. Giving Andy the car keys, he asks him to remove this tank. Andy removes the tank while pulling, and that man brings Andy into his shelter house, where he was residing with his wife. After a time, that man offers to him to come with him so that he may show his work to Andy. In order to protect oneself from zombies, he demonstrates how he cages people to use as zombies' bait. Attracting zombies, he may shoot them. He collects the precious things of zombies after killing them, so he may use these things if the situation is better in coming days. Andy observes Thumi and an old man in the cage. Andy was not feeling good, but he had also not had a second option where his daughter may be kept safe. Coming into that shelter house, he notices that his little daughter is living safely with that man's wife. Being satisfied, he begins to shoot himself to keep others secure, because he had no more time now. Then that man's wife arrives there and says to him, "Don't do as such. Your daughter will never be safe in the hand of the owner of the shelter house. He is wicked." She reveals, "He is not my spouse. Even he had left my husband to be victimized by the zombies, and he has bound her from that time." Then that man approaches there while searching her. He hears both of them. He knocks Andy out while hitting the gun on his head. He imprisons him in the same cage of Thumi. Coming into sense, he requests Thumi, "Help me. We can together escape from here." Andy throws a rope towards Zombie, fixing a piece of meat with it. The cage door is little opened when Zombies pulls that rope, and they return to that shelter house, coming out from the cage. Then they escape, taking the little daughter and that lady. That man tries to shoot them after waking up in that shelter house. And that lady who was being said his wife is shot down and she dies there. Afterward, they both hide at a place, escaping from there. Next morning, Andy and Thumi are conversing with each other. Andy explains to Thumi, her father can never be recovered now because he is transformed into zombie. Hearing it, Thumi runs near a tree where she had left her father after fastening. But she comes to know that her mother has bound her father into that tree after killing him. Seeing it, Thumi starts weeping. She begins to strike her head with the stone. Andy has no more time, so he starts to leave from there, and he had to keep his daughter at a secure place before his transformation into a zombie. He had to give the charge of her daughter to a person who could take care of her after his death. Thumi hears the weeping sound of that little daughter after a time. Andy is senseless when she goes to check. Waking up, Andy decides to go to the family he saw by the river that day. Thumi consents to direct him at the bank of the stream. Reaching there, Andy comes to know that the husband of that family has also been bitten by the zombies. That man again points the same gun. He says to him, "There are only 6 bullets which are left in this gun." He will fire 1 bullet on himself, while 3 on his family. He asks Andy, he can shoot himself and his daughter with left 2 bullets if he wants. Andy is left astonished and forbids him of doing so. But not agreeing, that man shoots himself and his family. In this way, all are dead. Being disturbed, Andy thinks to kill himself while picking the gun. About to kill his little daughter, but returns Andy's daughter to him on his request. Subsequently, Andy departs, accompanied by his young daughter Rosie and Thumi, who is struggling due to a head injury. Andy had got knowledge that he has no more time. Walking a little far, Andy's condition is getting worse, and he was soon going to transform into a zombie. Meanwhile, Andy catches the sight of a piece of meat. Afterward, he says to Thumi, "Take care of my daughter," and he loves her little daughter last time. This scene is very touchy. Andy hits upon a plan seeing a piece of meat, and he fixes it with the edge of a stick. On the other side, Thumi's mother and Indigenous Australians come on the scene. They observe Thumi with the little daughter when they are leaving after killing the zombies. They both were at the backside of Andy. Thumi had brought Andy there, directing him with the stick, which had a stuck piece of meat. After their arrival, Thumi stops the indigenous Australians when they are going to kill Andy, and she sprays there, taking out the perfume of Andy's wife, so Andy may feel and recall the memories of his family. Afterward, they kill Andy. Then it is shown, little girl's abdomen has a written statement which has been written by Andy. He has written, "Thank you," with white color. Then they hide Andy into that tree as they had done with Thumi's father to prevent the infection. At last, that little girl had got a secure place and family to stay.